And it looked like Caitlin Clark has landed her first speaking gig of the offseason.
So it seems Caitlin Clark has snagged her first off-season speaking gig, folks. Caitlin Clark didn't let the season's end breathe before securing another paycheck. While half the WNBA is deep in CBA drama, Clark just got her first off-season job and the league seems uneasy. She isn't chasing loose balls this time. She's after high-dollar microphones. So it poses the question, is the WNBA angry or just green with envy? I told everyone this woman has no off switch, while the rest of the league debates leadership, lockouts, and Kathy Engelbert's MIA pressers. Caitlin's out here inking speaking deals. Yeah, not sponsorships. Speaking deals. Getting paid to talk.
His conversations last offseason was Caitlin Clark $100,000 an hour speaking gigs.
$100,000 a speech territory.
She is not taking long getting back to work, raking in the cash because she has landed
out that Caitlin Clark's public speaking fee hovered around six figures, $100,000 for an hour. People chuckled at first until the companies began forming a line, and now, barely a month since the finals, she's already booked. Man, the WNBA's head office probably learned about it the same way we did, on social media.
Didn't need the money to do Unrivaled. She's landing $100K to speak to speak for companies and represent companies all over the country. She's not hurting for cash, and I just think this is just the coolest thing ever that Caitlin Clark is able.
So this is the deal. Caitlin Clark was just named the headlining speaker for the Long Island Association's Fall Forum. That's right, Long Island. Big money. Legacy wealth. Country club cash. She'll be having a discussion with their president, Matt Cohen, in a special talk about her historic stats, her effect on the sport, and her expanding power beyond the hardwood. The takeaway, she's the icon of the sport, and the league knows it.
It looked like Caitlin Clark is headed to Long Island Association, bro. So it stated Long Island Association joined the Long Island Association's president and CEO, Matt Cohen, moderates a special conversation with Caitlin Clark discussing her record-breaking performances, impact, and cultural influence on October the 29th at 10:30 to 12:30 in New York.
And this isn't a pro bono appearance, it's a paid corporate function. They explicitly stated tickets are scarce, sponsorships are available, and it's all going down at Holly Country Club, which for those who don't know, isn't a place for the financially challenged. So yes, Caitlin is collecting a bag, and a big one. The wild part? Her fans are here for it. But the league office? They're in panic mode. Because when your top star can earn in an hour what half the league earns in a month, that is not a good look. Let's check the numbers. The mean WNBA salary is around $120,000 annually. Caitlin Clark can nearly match that in a single speaking appearance. And she isn't even sweating. No fouls, no hard hits, no refs, ignoring blatant elbows. Just climate control and a microphone, all while Kathy Engelbert is in a meeting somewhere trying to persuade players not to strike next season. It is the ultimate juxtaposition. You have players demanding better pay, and Caitlin Clark is quietly demonstrating she doesn't need it. Now get me right, Caitlin's not quitting basketball, but this action sends a clear signal. She's proving to everyone her brand is stronger than the league's brand. That's what has people worried. You see, when Caitlin Clark's image sells out stadiums, sponsors begin to ask a perilous question. Do we really need the league? Or do we just need her? That's the point where the WNBA starts to break a sweat, because the very thing that made them a fortune this year could render them obsolete next year.
Just with working back to full health, Steph mentioned that it was kind of baby steps and getting back and making sure you don't lose what you've worked on this season. Just what are your plans for the off season and possibly playing or just doing individual workouts?
Yeah, I mean, probably take a little bit of a break here, just for maybe a week. I don't really want to lose a ton of the stuff I've worked on, and just trying to get my body back to full health. There's some USA basketball stuff I need to get ready for, and I need to be able to find some runs and some ways to play 5-on-5, just so I can kind of get that feel back. And but more than anything, I think my main focus is really just getting my body healthy and once we get back to 5-on-5, like just being able to test my body and make sure I know it's in a good spot where it's going to be able to hold up with everything that, we think we've corrected or we think we've worked on, to be able to know I'm in a really good spot there. And, when you go through injuries, especially in my scenario where it's been a few of the reoccurring kind of bouncing around, which isn't necessarily uncommon in my situation just because of compensation, and when you're dealing with things in that groin area, that just is kind of how it can go sometimes. I think it's important that you can become confident in your body again, and that's for anybody that goes through injury. So that's probably going to be my main focus is, just feeling 100% again, and then obviously, having that confidence in my body too.
This off-season engagement with the Long Island Association is more than a side gig. It's a strategic play. It demonstrates she's not sitting around for the WNBA to polish its image. She's constructing her own empire, and you can bet the figures are staggering. Corporations will spend a $100,000 to $150,000 for speakers at Caitlin's tier. You believe they'd pay less for the most buzzed-about athlete in women's sports? No way. She's effectively giving TED Talks, but with a jump shot. The most amusing aspect is seeing people online feigning shock. Dude, this is the same Caitlin Clark who transformed college basketball into a marquee event. The same Caitlin Clark whose Iowa games outtrended NBA Finals clips. The same Caitlin Clark who sold out every single road game in her rookie WNBA season. Did you think she'd just relax all winter? Nope, she's cashing in as everyone else's PR reps feud online. But let's get into why this is significant. Because, as Caitlin plans her speaking tour, the WNBA is mired in chaos. Nafisa Collier is publicly sparring with the commissioner. Aja Wilson is taking flack over accusations of ref favoritism. And Kathy Engelbert is dodging interviews. The league was desperate for a positive headline, and Caitlin just gave them one. The catch is, it isn't their headline, it's all hers. That is the crux. She isn't allowing the WNBA to dictate her off-season. She's dictating it herself, and that is a variable the league cannot manage. Because once a player grows larger than the league, the power dynamic changes. You can't sideline her. You can't fine her. You can't mute her. She has the sponsors, the media, the fans, and now her personal stage. And frankly, it's quite poetic. While her peers are battling for bigger paychecks, Caitlin is showing them the playbook to write their own. She is converting fame to enterprise. She is converting popularity to autonomy, and the WNBA is at a loss for how to react. They have always depended on keeping their stars within their ecosystem, but Caitlin Clark is showing she doesn't need that ecosystem to thrive. Now, to be fair, some in the media are already trying to spin this. We're seeing headlines like, Caitlin Clark puts corporate life over team solidarity. Man, just stop. You can't fault someone for making smart moves. She is not deserting the sport, she is expanding its reach. It isn't as if she's missing practice for a commercial shoot. The season is done. This is precisely what the off-season is for. NBA stars run camps. NFL stars sign endorsement deals. Caitlin is giving speeches, and she's being paid her worth. That isn't avarice, that's her value. And you know who gets that more than anyone? The companies signing those checks, because they perceive what the WNBA might overlook. Caitlin Clark is a global phenomenon. Her followers aren't just in Indiana. They're in Iowa. They're in the Midwest. They're all over the world. There are kids in Europe mimicking her shooting form. There are parents dropping hundreds on her jerseys. That is influence. So when she gets a $100,000 speaking event at a posh golf club, she's not just earning money. She's issuing a reminder that her influence extends far beyond the basketball court. Now we should discuss why the league is freaking out. Because admit it or not, the WNBA's success this season rode on a single engine. When Caitlin Clark was on the court, ratings soared. When she was off, ratings dipped. That isn't a hot take, it's data. So now the season is over, and the WNBA's primary cash cow is at off-season events without them. They can't market it, they can't take a cut, they can't even take credit. It is Caitlin's universe. They are just tenants in it. And the anxiety is palpable because the WNBA media is attempting to minimize it. They're saying stuff like, it's only one event, right? Sure, until one becomes 10, because there's a history here. Last year, one speech led to 3 others. This year, that will likely double. By 2026, Caitlin Clark could be making more from off-season speaking than her entire WNBA contract. And frankly, she's earned it. You can't have a single player carry your league, defend herself from flagrant fouls, handle resentful players, and then demand she stay silent in the offseason. She is claiming her peace and her profit. Now let's pivot for a moment. People wondered why she passed on Unrivaled, the player-led off-season league founded by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart. The answer is simple. She has no need for it. Unrivaled is fantastic for players seeking extra cash, but Caitlin is already earning that, and more. Why risk an injury in another league when you can make the same amount delivering a talk in heels instead of high tops? It's just smart business. Work smarter, not harder. And this decision affirms Caitlin isn't merely an athlete, she is a business person. Now, some online fans say she should leverage her platform to advocate for other players. Man, she is advocating by showing them a superior game plan. She's demonstrating to every young athlete that you can cultivate your own brand, that you don't have to wait for an invitation. And frankly, that is what scares the league the most, because the moment players see they don't need the WNBA for serious money, the control vanishes. We've seen this play out. Shaq did it, Kobe did it, Serena did it. Now Caitlin Clark is doing it her way, and this is only the beginning. Her Long Island appearance is more than a payday. It is a flair to sponsors that she's available. Just watch. Next will be a fresh Nike deal, perhaps a Netflix doc, maybe her own basketball school, and each of those ventures is executed beyond the WNBA's grasp. Meanwhile, the league's PR department is posting about unity and growth. Sure, unity is nice, but growth doesn't cover the bills, and Caitlin is not waiting for a handout. She's cutting her own checks. Now this is what makes it even juicier. The timing. Her Long Island speaking event is just before Halloween, October 29th. Know what else is happening that week? The WNBA's CBA deadline. Exactly. While players and owners are bickering over contracts, Caitlin Clark will be the main event at a lavish business summit in New York. You can't tell me that isn't poetic justice. The league could actually enter a lockout as its biggest star discusses leadership and success with millionaires at a golf club, and you know the media will run with that. WNBA risks lockout as Clark thrives outside league. They would adore that headline. And frankly, so would Caitlin's sponsors. Because whatever unfolds, her stock only rises. She's invincible. If a lockout happens, she still wins. If no lockout, she returns to the court even wealthier. One way or another, Caitlin Clark continues to win, and that is what the WNBA can't stomach. Because at present, the league seems one bad headline from crumbling, and Caitlin continually reminds everyone she doesn't require them to stay on top. She doesn't need favoritism, special treatment, or inflated rating. She possesses something no one else has: widespread respect. Even her critics respect her work ethic. She is poised, professional, marketable, and incredibly consistent. She's not online posting snarky replies. She's not picking fights. She is letting her net worth make the statement. And that is precisely why the WNBA is in a cold sweat. Because when the top star in your league can go make the same income independently, it forces everyone to ask a terrifying question. What if she chooses not to return? Ponder if Caitlin Clark ever chose to take a hiatus from the WNBA, or worse, play overseas. The league's viewership would implode instantly, and based on how effortlessly she's booking six-figure talks, she wouldn't lose a single cent. That is leverage, and it's rare. So yes, the WNBA is sweating, seeing Caitlin's name trending once more, this time not for hoops but for commerce. And the best part, She doesn't even need to comment on it. She isn't on Twitter arguing or defending her choices. She's too busy managing her portfolio. Caitlin Clark has transformed her offseason into a business symposium. While the WNBA is bogged down in leadership squabbles, she is forging a legacy that pays dividends, whether she's on the court or not. And let's be real, Caitlin's success isn't just financial, it's loud. Every single move she makes is a headline. When she's playing, people tune in. When she talks, people pay attention. When she so much as breathes, someone at ESPN is writing an article. That is how you know she's on a tier no other WNBA player has reached. And deep down, that's what irks the league, because instead of headlines saying WNBA hits new peaks, they all declare Caitlin Clark sets new record. It's her brand that's moving the product, not the reverse. She has made herself a living brand, like Jordan, like LeBron, like Serena, and the WNBA was never structured to contain someone with that much power. They prefer stars who excel within their framework. But Caitlin is the framework now. She no longer needs the WNBA's spotlight. The spotlight simply follows her wherever she is. So as she enters that Long Island venue later this month in a business suit instead of a uniform, you can be sure of one thing. Everyone in that room will understand they're not just seeing a player, they are witnessing a movement. So what are your thoughts? Is Caitlin changing the entire game, or is she just proving she's already playing a different one? Leave your comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more.